Thank you for joining me. I'm having real problems with technology today. Don't seem to be able to share my screen that well. So it's a bit problematic. And this is take 3 now. Take 1. I've already published it thinking it'll be okay. But anyway, I've had to do it again. So I'm going to talk about Mooltrikona today. Mooltrikona signs or degrees within they're very important. Is where the planet works really at a really high standard, because obviously when a planet is exalted, it works really well at 100% of capacity. But when it's Mooltrikona, it's 90 to 100%, and it works extremely well. Whereas vibrations are very different, a lot softer. And whereas I would call this like normal resident, when you feel really comfortable in. And I'll normally call the other one, the other sign that they have, that some most planets apart from Sun and the Moon, they have 2 signs. So one sign will be like a holiday destination, that holiday home that they feel great in, but it's not their normal residence. So, but Mooltrikona is their most comfortable space. I'm going to share, and hopefully it will do it properly this time. I'm not really so sure. So let's just see. I don't know what happened there. Oh gosh, it's just really giving me a tough time today. Oh, anyway, I will actually, let's see if it will let me try again. I don't want to upset any situations. So here we go. See if it's going to do it. Hope you can see that. So these are all the degrees that the planets work really well at, which is considered like their Mooltrikona sign. They're normally male signs, apart from Moon and Mercury's signs. Mooltrikona signs are feminine. So we have Sun at 0 to 20 degrees of Leo, Moon at 3 to 27 degrees, Mars at 0 to 12 degrees of Aries, Mercury at 15 to 20 degrees of Virgo, Jupiter at 0 to 10 degrees of Sagittarius, Venus at 0 to 15 degrees of Libra, and 0 to 20 degrees of Aquarius is Saturn's Mooltrikona. It doesn't include the nodes. These are the degrees that the planets work really well on. So as we know, not the the actual debilitation and exaltation signs degrees for the planets are just 1 degree, whereas these actually is over a longer degrees. So it's good, really good. So I'm going to stop share that. I don't want to confuse the computer today. Let's see, how's it working? Looking good. Okay, so I've got 2 charts we're going to look at for Mooltrikona sign. So this is Muhammad Ali. He's a Cancer ascendant. And he has Mars in the 10th house, Dikbala, or directional strength. That's a really strong Mars. And it's in Aries, owns Aries. But look at that, it's at 10 degrees Aries. So this is 0 to 12 degrees of Aries is Mooltrikona sign for degrees of Mars, and it's right within that. It's actually at exact degree of the Sun's exaltation. Whenever planets are at another planet's exact degree of exaltation or debilitation, they can work like that as well. So not only working as a Mars at that degree, but also can be working at times like the Sun as well. So very exalted. But look at that, it's an Ashwini, the quick, swift one. Amazing. So this is you can see that he's got Mars, that very strong Mars. Is incredible. And the next one is Barry Gibb. Barry Gibb has Venus at Mooltrikona sign in the 2nd house, and also Sun at 15 degrees in Mooltrikona sign, Leo as well. So he has 2 planets, which is amazing. So it's given him fame across the world. He's got this sunny disposition all around the world because of his Mooltrikona sun being in there, and also Venus being in his 2nd house. Look at the 2nd house of money. He's got like Moon, which is the ruler of his 11th house, in the 2nd house. Massive Dana Yoga. Jupiter expanding that, as is Venus. 2 planets of money are there. Incredible. So this is how you see that. Now I'm going to share with you a technique that I've just literally not seen many people use. And this is like every single ascendant will have a particular issues with certain houses. So when the Mooltrikona of any planet falls in any ascendants, 6th, 8th, or 12th house, then they have things to learn about those signs and those planets. So I'll repeat that again. If the Mooltrikona of any planet falls in the ascendants, 6th, 8th, or 12th house, there are things within that they need, obstacles that they need to overcome. So I'm going to start and just go through. So we're going to look at every single planet's Mooltrikona sign to just see whether or not they fall into 6th, 8th, or 12th sign. So he is, Barry Gibb is Virgo ascendant. So Mercury's Mooltrikona sign is 15 to 20 degrees. So it's in the first house. So it's okay. So it's not 6, 8, it's not a Dushtana house. Venus's Libra is in the second house. So that isn't. His third house, Scorpio. No planet has Mooltrikona there. Jupiter has got Sagittarius as its Mooltrikona, but his fourth house is fine. Fifth house is Capricorn. It hasn't really got one. Sixth house is Mooltrikona of Saturn. So we know now that this is not just Barry Gibb. All Virgo ascendants will have issues with sixth house. So sixth house will be things to do with divorce, obstacles, debt, illness, things like that. And it's gone into his 11th house, Saturn, the ruler. So we know that he could have had some issues with some of the groups that he had to deal with, networks. So that's how you put the houses together. Pisces, his 7th house has not got a Mooltrikona. 8th house is Mars's Mooltrikona. So again, that's another house that's going to give him difficulty. So we know that Virgo ascendant has got problems with Saturn Mooltrikona and Mars. And so what happens is he's going to have problems. He's got to watch out for things like scandals, sex addictions, secret enemies, accidents, things like that. And then Mooltrikona moon falls in his 9th house, that's fine. 10th house, Gemini, is not Mooltrikona for anything. 11th house is Cancer, it's not Mooltrikona for anything. But Sun's Mooltrikona falls in his 12th house. So there he has issues that he needs to look after to do with, A, could be father, B, could be addictions, and overindulgence, overspending, things like that. So he's got to foreign travels that could give him some issues as well. So this we know now that is an issue that Virgo ascendants will have to face. And because his 8th house is Mooltrikona of Mars, but I didn't say at the time, it's gone into the 1st house. So he's got to always be careful, because he could be accident prone to scandals, prone to acute or chronic, chronic sort of diseases. So we need to watch that. And it's gone on to his 1st house of head. So yeah. Okay, and also Mars also rules his younger siblings. Is the Karaka for younger siblings, and he lost his I've forgotten his youngest brother, who actually took an overdose and passed away. And he's lost his other 2 brothers as well, but that would be more, they were a bit older, but he was very young. He was, I think, in his 30s when he passed away. I've forgotten his name actually, but that could be the issue there. And so now let's go to Muhammad Ali, see what Cancer ascendants have to overcome. So Cancer is got no Mooltrikona there. Leo, his 2nd house, Mooltrikona of Sun, but that's not a problem. 3rd house, Virgo, not really a problem with Mercury, that one. 4th house, Libra, that's fine as well as 4th house. 5th house, there's Scorpio, there are no Mooltrikonas there. 6th house, Sagittarius, is Jupiter. So you could have issues with gurus, with, you know, advisors, could have issues with health, divorce, debt, obstacles, things like that, really, health issues. And Capricorn has not got any Mooltrikonas there. Eighth house, again, eighth house for Cancer ascendant falls in a Mooltrikona of Saturn. Actually, I didn't actually say that. So Jupiter has actually gone into the 11th house for him. So he will have issues with the Jupiter issues will go into his 11th house of the obstacles can come from his groups and networks. Eighth house, Saturn rules that. So we know that he could have issues with divorce, secret enemies, secretive stuff, secret affairs, chronic disease, and he had Parkinson's, didn't he? I think Parkinson's, yes, and which is like chronic disease. And then ninth house is okay, no Mooltrikona then. A Mooltrikona of Mars is in his 10th house, so that's not an issue. 11th house is not considered. It's Mooltrikona of Moon. And then we have 12th house, which is not Mooltrikona. So we know that Cancer ascendants will have issues 6th and 8th house, just Jupiter and Saturn can give them the obstacles that they need to work through. So, and let's just use this and pretend it's like Aries ascendant. So if this was Aries ascendant, I'm just going to give you two more examples. So Aries ascendant will be like Mooltrikona of Mars. So that's first house, that's okay. Mooltrikona of Moon, Taurus, that's okay. That's not one of those Dishtana houses. Third house, Gemini, no Mooltrikona. Cancer, no Mooltrikona. Fifth house, Leo, Mooltrikona, but that's fifth house. Sixth house, we got issues with sixth house things, Aries house. So they can have colleagues, with subordinates at work. They could have issues with health, cousins, things like that. Divorce, things like that. And where's Mercury gone? Mercury's gone in their 10th house, so issues at work. You know, you can see that clearly. Work issues. Libra is their 7th house, so that's okay. 8th house is not Mooltrikona for anything. 9th house is Jupiter's, but it's 9th house. 10th house has not got Mooltrikona of any planet. 11th house, but it's 11th house Mooltrikona for Saturn, that's fine. And 12th house is not, you know, has not got Mooltrikona of anything. So this is how you know that literally most of the obstacles for them will be to do with their 6th house, Mercury. And if now this was, say, Sagittarius, so if we said ascendant was in Sagittarius, we're just going to see what obstacles Sagittarians have. You just do this for all of them. Just see if Mooltrikonas fall in 6th, 8th, or 12th houses. So Mooltrikona of Jupiter is first house, that's okay. Second house has not got Mooltrikona. Third house is Saturn, but it's third house. Fourth house is okay. Fifth house, Mooltrikona Mars is okay. Sixth house. Sixth house is Mooltrikona of the Moon, and actually ruled by you know, so Mooltrikona of Moon. So Moon, they could be enemies with their mum. They could have issues with their mum. Mum could have health issues. Mum could create debts for them, things like that. So 7th house is okay. It's not Mooltrikona for anything. 8th house is okay. Mooltrikona. It's not Mooltrikona for any planet. 9th house is Mooltrikona of the Sun, but it's the 9th house. 10th house is Mooltrikona for Mercury, but that's okay. 11th house, Mooltrikona of Venus, that's fine. 12th house is not Mooltrikona. So Sagittarius ascendant will have issues to do with mum. They'll have some issues there to sort out. And once you work through those problems with those Mooltrikona houses, then you just navigate your life so much easier, because you know, we can see even just looking at the chart. So if you're Sagittarius ascendant, as we're talking, they're going to have problems with their mum, because the natural Cancer is a natural sign, its own Cancer sign, ruled by the moon. So, being it's the eighth house, so they're going to have problems. They're going to be, inimical with their mum. So you can see that could happen. But obviously, Cancer is not a Mooltrikona sign. I hope this helps. This is a really nice technique, and it really does work really well. So you can actually then give them remedies for that, so they can work on the karaka of that house and get better results by working through that issue. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video.